Hello, my name is Joseph Kelly, and today I'll be going over my individual project for Intro to Health with Informatics, which is identifying patients who are at increased risk for severe illness from the virus that causes COVID-19. To begin, we'll go over my GitHub repo right here. We will assume that you've made it to the point in the manual where you have successfully cloned this repo. And once you've cloned this repo, you have ran npm install on both the front end, server, and root directories here. Once you have done this, you can simply run npm start, and you can then access the app. Now, this app is similar to my mini project 3 in that you can search for both the patient's name and patient's IDs and see some information. Now, as you see here in the previous project, this really didn't include that much useful information. So to begin, we'll display searching a patient. And now here, as we see here, we get much more useful information so we can help identify our patient better. Now, let's say we actually already know the patient ID. We could simply come here, search, and there is our patient. So, get started. Let's search a patient that I know has a little bit more information. You simply click on the card. And now we are loading our patient overview. This is kind of the totality of the entire assignment. From this view, we get to see our patient's basic information, some of the observation measurements that have been included for this patient, their BMI classification, if that observation has been included, and some more information we'll get to later. The nice thing about this is we can actually view some more observation details of the patient. So let's take, for instance, our classification down here. I have classified the patients based on their risk from their previous conditions they might have, from the CDC, if they're at an increased risk or might be an increased risk, and I have displayed that in a table here for high-risk observations and potential risk observations. As we can see, Alberto has a potential risk observation, which is smoking. Now, let's say we see another observation that might be also, detrimental to the patient. So let's do some more research on it. We can actually grab the observation ID right here, and we can search that observation on the R4 Smart Health IT server from our web app, and we can display then the patient name, some of the observation overview, including its ID and status, the observation metadata, some of the system information about that, and which will actually give us the code and the observation value information. Now, once we've done this, let's go back. We can use our drawer function on the side here to navigate the app actually. And now we're back at the patient overview for Alberto. So let's actually go back to our patient search. Let's search a patient that I've been modifying. His name is Barrett. So Barrett actually has a high-risk observation. This high-risk observation is actually that he is class 2 obesity. In this panel, we actually give a little more information about what BMI is. That way, if you're in the room with the patient, you can actually go over this with them. From here, we can go through and see that he has high-risk observations and potential risk observations. So now we can make a decision. We can choose to add a telehealth note, as I'm doing now. We can actually add that note to our server. We can kind of see some of our previous telehealth notes that we have added. And once again, we can search them to view for that patient. Now let's return. And once this loads, we actually have some more options that we can go from here. So we can decide to contact our patient. Let's say that we know they have these increased risks and we would like to inform them of this. So we actually pull their primary contact info. So for this patient, it'd be their phone number, and we can choose to text them. Now, given this is a student project, I'm using Twilio and I can actually only text myself, but in a real environment, we'd be able to text anyone. But this functionality is working to text myself, and I can see here, if I text myself, these screenshots are included in the project write-up that I've received the text message. Now, let's say that this patient has an email address given in his records. I can choose to actually email the patient using email.js, and I can send myself an email with the patient's name. I could put in their email and a test message. And this will actually give me a templated email that I've already written out here in email.js that gives the patient some more information about why they're receiving this email and to please contact me for more details. And that way we can set up a visit. If I actually go and check my email, I can see that I have this email here, and that way I can go ahead and forward it on to the patient. So back to our project. We can also see a couple more things that I've included for this project include some area-specific data. So we know that the home state of this is Massachusetts, so we can actually come over here and click and view the current information for the patient's home state, which is Massachusetts, and that way we could have a discussion about the current environment that they're in. Now, like I said, the beauty behind this app compared to the previous one is the ability to really make some more informed decisions on the patient and really kind of dig deeper and see what we should be telling them. Just for another example, I can come back here and I can do another patient search. And for this one, I'm going to choose someone that I know who also has a high risk. We can search and we can find Rick. Rick has a high risk also for a left ventricular ejection fraction. And from here, we could then choose to add the telehealth note again, or we could go in and email the patient or contact them. Thank you very much for viewing this app, and have a great day.